To repeat the same thing over and over and get the same response means what? Right. Insanity. Right? Those beings, when they fell, they lost their entire mind because they were stripped of everything. You know, it kind of begs to differ, like, if Divine said, I'm stripping you of everything that I gave you, what are you left with at that point? What are you left with? The insanity, right? Trying to figure out how. So you see like thousands and thousands of repetitions, lies, more repetition. You have this overbearing, this overwhelming and overbearing sense of a controlling party. It's like it wants to be what speaks it into reality, and then when you go around in a normal circumstances, like your normal outside, your normal shopping, it's like, oh, you didn't know about this? That's how it is. And we're like, no, that's not what it is. That's just what you believe. Why is that even a thing, though? Why is that a particular understanding? It's because it's trying to say it's powerful. It's trying to be that. It wants to be the relevancy of that instead of anything else. Look at what these little groups try to do when they're inducting. They want you to give up anything else that you represent and just represent that or whatever that particular thing is. All praises to the Most High, too. It's interesting concept to watch these things aggress and aggress and aggress. And then you have this other energy that the weaker parts of us, and keep in mind, our culture has a lot of weakness because you'll have individuals who gain the material value and claim that it's a form of power because it's a form of weakness. If you have dog food and the dog is hungry, does that make you the wealthiest dog food person? To that dog, maybe. Because you have what the dog wants. Think about that. So you have a lot of weak individuals who don't represent nothing, have no morality about themselves, no concept of any type of understanding, but they have materialistic value. So they can feel like they are important. So these people that are in our culture are the anchor down to have the best thing to say that sounds good. Man, shit, you might as well just get that so you could do this. You might as well, it's like, all right, it sounds stupid. It just sounds dumb. Man, I don't want that. I got this. I'll go do this. We need it. We all, that feeling of not having, being deprived, has created this energy. That feeling of being deprived created that energy. Martyrism is based off something of value. Who claims it value? So it's initially, right now, you're being screamed in your face socially, but you don't hear it. It's not an actual voice. You're being screamed in your face to what you know to be true. That's what's going on right now. You know, I thought Candace was smart. She's not. I thought she was intelligent. She's not. She's like one of those, the ones I was talking about that have the complete look, but it's completely washed. Completely washed out. It's sad because she's actually pretty, but she's pretty, whatever. I'll save the comments for myself. You know, all these things are spoken into fruition. It's not like it hasn't been told that it was going to be like this. For some reason, I kept seeing these stupid looks. Yeah, it's always gonna be two sides of every energy, yo. It's always gonna be the right way it should be done, and then the way people use these energies to do what they want to do. So when we speak about, prosperity, abundance, and stuff of that nature, it's not based off the criminal making that look like it's important. It's based off you having that privacy and that freedom to be or move how you see fit. The country actually used to be like that. Like, it wasn't all everybody in your business. You was able to do what you need to do without nobody being in your business. And then you would see these certain people wonder, how'd you do that? It's because they lacked levels of knowledge because of who they were inside. They were always criminals. They were always people who didn't know shit. You know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't even try to do shit. They wouldn't put no effort to anything. They just wanted to sit around and have it come. So when that became louder, that became the way. And now you got to keep in mind, that energy, like I said, is attached to a lot of people in our culture. So they would sit around without this energy to grow anything, to be anything, to create anything. And you have to know that those people were birthed into your culture just so they can play a role later and be mad because they don't have that particular understanding to be outspoken and to connect naturally. They have to have a facade. They have to look at you and see how you move and then copy what you're doing. Keep in mind, this is really what it is. Because they're not real people. They're creations of fallen energies that don't have divine energy. They were stripped of it. You know, it's almost a gift and a curse to be able to look at the whole picture at one time. Don't matter how slick you think you are, I always see everything. I see the whole thing all the time. I'm never letting the divine go. I'll never do it. Divine is giving me more awareness and a deeper understanding that any concept, any fear, any revelation that's here in existence can ever match up to. Can never match up to what I know. And I'll never get a chance to actually say everything I know. You know why? Because everything else lacks divine energy. The best thing that they have is attack. So they'll make platforms so you can readily talk to people. Keep in mind, back in the day, you couldn't call everybody. You had a phone book. You know what I'm saying? So that would, like, the way social media today and the comparison from back in the day, what it would be is somebody going through the phone book, picking random numbers, prank calling people. So you can go on a page and say something correct and accurate, right? And then they'll bash you. They'll talk all types of trash. They'll call you. They won't say nothing positive up front. They'll start by attacking you. They'll call you whatever, the worst names. You know what I'm saying? And you like, wow. Face to face, I will slap the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? That'll be an instant karma. Like, you'll say something and you'll think because it's not like that, and then 5 fingers go across your face so hard your gum, your teeth, and spit come out your mouth at one time, and then you crying like, oh my God, I got hit. And probably a punch gonna follow after that. Like, you gonna get beat bad, and then if somebody that's with me see that happening, they probably gonna jump in because they want to know why I'm beating the shit out of you, right? So it be that type of energy, but they made it to where you can't be there like that. They'll show you on TV. They show you in movies. They've been showing you this. It was always a fear of getting the shit slapped out of you. And then they had to create something that would equal the value and strength. So they started inputting this energy into the culture. So now you got this same failure energy in our culture. And most of them have influence. They have influence. You don't care who you be with. You don't care. You're not trying to study these people or who they are. You don't try to learn these people. You look at them and say, oh, well, they must be cool because they look like me. That's as far as your knowledge goes. There's no intelligence to it. There's no rationale to the value. There's no check if it's divine in there. It's, well, I like them, so I'm gonna be with them. You don't even that. If you love that, you never loved the Most High. You never loved what gave you, because you don't understand divine, because you chose to love something other than, and you are that oblivious to their emotions that you don't see that shit. Like, that's the deep part. Everything that comes with awareness is based off how well you attach to what created you. So if you're not knowing what created you, you would accept the enemy of what created you, because you don't know what created you. You're not attached to that. You telling people you love the fact that you're like that you understand these things, but your actions, your outcome speaks different. You know, I keep seeing, and I don't want to be talking about individuals, but I keep seeing the brothers say dumb shit. And I'm like, you know what? You don't see that you're building up karma. And it's like, it's always an opportunity to try to be prideful. To try to take credit where there's no credit for you. Like, I ain't gonna get too deep in these situations. It's just that I notice shit that I see people don't never notice. And everybody will be sitting around nodding their head like, yeah, with no real response to the action. And if you point it out, it's like, I never thought about it like that. It's a couple brothers that got intelligence. I ain't gonna take that from them. But some brothers, they act like they got intelligence with a failed retrospect of being intelligent. Intelligence, intel, means that you can go inside and get what you need. I don't need to be braggadocious. I don't need to prove anything. I don't have to be the one that says, see, I've been telling you this. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you have to, because people steal your intellectual content. It's because they don't have no divine knowledge. So they have to steal it. If their creator was stripped of everything universally, what do you think you are? You're the new teachers to them. They're not going to tell you that. They're just going to love everything you do and attach it to themselves and say, hey, I know something. But awareness separates that as a value. And you got to start looking at the world and wonder how and why. It's not because of lack thereof. It's because they're of that energy. They're of that energy, the energy that fell. They're not of a progressive energy. You don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know divine, you don't care about none of that other stuff. You just care. You care about the truth. You care about the love. You care about, how well we can match through those values. Like, and if that's going to be a potential type thing. You don't care about everything else. Because that's divine. You forgot divine gives and multiplies. So most people who are not holding on to divinity are not aware of these things. They're too busy looking for other things. The world right now is so shot in the head that anything can happen, and that's just going to be the particular energy of that version of truth. And everybody's going to mass conglomerate and run off with that shit. That's why I'll never be a part of nothing, because I'm like, that shit is dumb. So it went from nothing to now having something to focus on, and that's the most important thing. I wish I would. I wish I would be out here talking about, oh, so-and-so said this, and now they're not. I don't, who gives a shit? Nobody don't care. Who cares? Oh, y'all care. That's because y'all got that other stuff in you. You got that stuff that don't matter in you. You got that stuff that leads you down nothing road. You got that stuff in you that takes away all universal prowess from your mind. And then you got the brothers and sisters that are fed up with being confused by people taking the only truth that they know that was relevant and usurping it in a way to control values. So now you look at it and you say it must be false. That's not why it's fake. It's not fake. It's real. It's them using it for another purpose. You got to know this. So once you understand how it was flipped around and turned and twisted like a Rubik's Cube, then you understand where you stand with that as a truth. At least they can hint to some of the values of truth. But that's not always a relevant thing. Hinting to the value of truth and being in it, it only shows your DNA capability, meaning that you can't solve the problem past what you speak. So why talk about it? Why even get emotionally involved when in fact your emotional involvement gives them a blueprint to how to make it more real to you next time? Think about what I'm telling you. Why don't you just start shutting the hell up and leave the space blank? So now there's not a criteria to look back on to say, okay, well, if we can file into that retrospect, they would be more engaging. See, y'all have missed that part so many times. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's roll out a red carpet. Let's have an event. Let's do this. Let's do that. And everybody getting they Sunday best. They start doing stuff to be a part. Because, you still be buck dancing. So you want to be a part. You want to be accepted. The reason why you wasn't accepted back then is because they didn't comprehend acceptance. They got stripped of everything. I'm going to keep telling you this. This is why you're hated. They don't know how to do what you're asking for. Now, that was then. Now they have a lot of blueprints to satisfy a false reality of what you request. Just to make you feel indifferent or connected, so therefore they can play out the particular roles that they want to play. You don't win by being a part. You win by leaving it blank. Because they have nothing to go off. Naga the Wise.